Dawn Butler.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship today. And I thank the honourable member, I can say honourable friend, if he doesn't mind, for Morden for securing this debate. And I have spoken to the Secretary of State and ministers in DSIT, and there is an awareness that we have to have a lot of considerate and careful thinking on this issue. Obviously, it's a new government that's just come in, and this isn't an issue that's just happened. As the member said, LFR was first used in 2017, so there's a lot that has to be done and clearing up that has to be done. Now, live facial recognition changes one of the cornerstones of our democracy, which is an individual is innocent until proven guilty. Now, with live facial recognition, if the machine says you're guilty because we've identified you through LFR, then you then have to prove your innocence. And that is a huge change in our democracy, which nobody has consented to. We haven't consented to in this place. And as we police by consent as society, that is something that should really worry us all. And absolutely.
Thank the Honourable Lady for giving way, and I'm looking forward to this debate and concluding it for the opposition later. But on this question about changing the burden of proof or undermining this concept that someone is innocent until proven guilty, it absolutely does not change that. What it does is it gives the police a reason to stop somebody and then check their identity to see if they are or they are not the person who is wanted for a criminal offence. It certainly doesn't provide evidence upon which a conviction might be secured. And in fact, it's no different from the police stopping anybody because they're suspicious about somebody. And in fact, this is a lot more accurate than stop and search, about which I'm sure the Honourable Lady has views. So all this is a tool to enable the police to stop somebody and check their identity to see if they are or are not the person who is wanted. It certainly doesn't undermine that very important principle that a person is innocent until proven guilty.
I thank the Minister for that intervention. Now, you hit on a very important point, reasonable suspicion. What is reasonable suspicion? How did you get to that point? And if you're going to then make reference to watch lists, who's put on a watch list? Now, we know, for instance, the Met Police has hundreds of thousands of people on their system that shouldn't be on there. We know that the watch list can be people who they consider to be vulnerable, people who have mental health issues. But it basically is people who are subject to, it could be anyone. It could be anybody in this room could be put on a watch list. So I'm afraid you haven't quite nailed the point that you were trying to make.
I'm very much on the Honourable Lady's side on that argument, partly because we are a country where it is not normal to stop people and ask for their identity cards. That's why we've had a few battles over that in the past. But also, this technology is prone to slippage. Way back when, probably when she was still at school, we introduced ANPR in order to monitor Irish to IRA terrorists coming from Liverpool to London. That was its exact purpose. It got used for a dozen other things without any legislative change thereafter and without any approval by Parliament.
Sorry. Could I ask you to keep interventions as interventions? Dawn Butler.
So yes, it's really important, and it's really important that we talk about this very openly. That's what we're supposed to do in this place, right? So watch lists, anybody can be put on the watch list. 7 police forces are currently losing LFR. One that I know of, I'm not sure of the others, but the Metropolitan Police is in special measures. So I don't think they should be given any additional powers whilst they're in special measures. And the thing is this, is that we know very little about the software or what's in the black box that's developed by these systems. What we can look at is the outcome. And we know the outcome does not identify, especially black women's faces, very well, or black and Asian people very well. There's a lower identity threshold of those people. So that is a concern. And it's also really interesting that even set at 0.6, a police super spotter is more accurate than the LFR. So you've got specialist police officers that spot people very quickly. They are more accurate than the system. So it comes a case where a police service is trying to prove that what this system that they've bought is value for money. And that would mean that you can imagine a police officer at 0.6 not getting many hits, lowering it to 0.5 so they can get more hits, which then in turn will mean that more people are misidentified. And so there should be regulation around this issue. And taking away somebody's liberty is one of the most serious things we can do in society. So we need to think very carefully if we're going to introduce something that accelerates that. So, and really, it is good that this is the first time that we're kind of having this debate. And as the member for Morden has said, the EU only permits LFR in cases where, first of all, prior judicial authorisation, and when they need to locate a missing person, for instance. And that, I think, is something that we need to consider. And I want to say this, I like technology. I'm very much into our civil liberties. We need to protect our digital rights as human beings and individuals. I love technology. I used to be a coder. But I think as we rush to do this, because people get excited, and I say, Madam Chair, that there are 4 people really in this debate. It reminds me of 4 of my mates when we go out clubbing. Bear with me. When we go clubbing, you've got the person who will stay at home. They're not bothered. They don't care. They stay at home. So you've got the people who don't care about this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Let it happen. You've got the person who will come, but they're a little bit moany. Do you know what I mean? They'll come. They don't really like the music, but they'll come anyway because they don't want to miss out. And you've got the person who's completely drunk on it all. Give it to me. I'll take everything. Completely drunk. There's people who will just love anything to do with technology and say, look, let's just throw it all in the mix and it will all be fine. And there's me. And I'm the person that likes the music, likes the food, but I need to keep sober to make sure everyone gets home safely. And I think in this debate around AI, we need to be sober to make sure that everybody gets home safely, and that when we roll out AI, that we roll it out in a way that is fair and compassionate and in line with our values as British citizens. Thank you.